If you're a skinny guy who's trying to build muscle fast, this is the exact split I did to go from 125 pounds to 175 pounds. The actual split is a legs push-pull split 6 times a week. So you'll only be resting 1 day a week. It's a lot, it's a heavy volume split, but when we're trying to build muscle as fast as possible, we need to be putting in that work in the gym 6 days a week. Anywhere from 45 minutes to 60 minutes is more than enough when you're focused and dialed in on your training. The reason this is effective is because you'll be hitting every muscle group 2 times a week. And this is the best to start out. Get that frequency in, you'll get that good volume that will build consistent muscle growth. And you'll also just be getting used to training in general as a newer lifter. An important aspect of training this hard and this consistent is to be tracking your lifts. That way you can ensure you're hitting progressive overload, going up every single week in reps or weight. This is what will actually cause progressive overload to be introduced, and that way you're growing and building real muscle. The reason we do legs first is because of a principle called eating the frog. So those of you who don't know what eating the frog is, it's usually referred to a method of doing something you don't want to do, but it's something that needs to get done first thing in the day. So you'll do something like if you have to do the dishes and you wake up, you would do the dishes first thing in the morning. That way you can get done with the rest of your day and it's out of the way and it's not over your head and you're not dwelling on it. So in the gym, that for most guys is hitting legs. They don't want to hit legs. They either skip legs or they don't train them that hard when they do train them. And so we can avoid that by putting legs first thing in the week. Now, personally, when I was running this split, I didn't do legs first thing, but I am suggesting that you do it because I did skip legs a lot when I was first starting because of it. I would hit push really hard. I would hit my pull days really hard. But then when leg day came around, I'd get lazy and I would not train with the same intensity. 1, just because I was actually fatigued from my other 2 workouts. And 2, just because I didn't really care about it as much because I didn't think it was aesthetic. And I want you guys to avoid that mistake that I made at the beginning and go ahead and follow with the legs push-pull split instead of push-pull legs. Another thing that I want you guys to do and learn from my mistake is to make sure you're hitting long rest periods. When I was in the gym, I would train really hard and I'd only rest like 60 to 90 seconds in between my sets. That's not long enough to actually regroup and go back at it when you're training really, really hard. We want to be lifting as heavy as possible with good form. And in order to do that properly, we need to rest 2.5 minutes, upwards of 5 minutes in between sets, especially on our big movements like hack squats, T-bar rows, incline bench, shoulder press. All of those movements are going to be pretty taxing. They'll take a lot of effort and energy out of you when trained properly. So you want to take those rest periods so you can hit them hard set after set. Make sure you're in a calorie surplus. For those of you who don't know, a calorie surplus simply means that you're eating more calories than you need in order to build muscle. A calorie surplus simply means that you're eating more calories than your body needs in order to maintain its weight. So you're above maintenance, which will cause you to gain weight. So this is the best way to build muscle. You can build muscle in a deficit or with lower calories, but it's best and most effective to be in a calorie surplus during gaining phases. And for beginners, we want to do everything we can in order to optimize for muscle growth. So just eat in a calorie surplus of 100 to 300 above your maintenance calories, and that way you can optimize your performance in the gym and you'll make the most progress. Some supplementation we can get into. So there's a lot of supplements on the market. You can ignore just about all of them except for the ones I'm going to list here. And just know that some of these are optional and you actually don't need to take any of them, but there are a few supplements I would suggest that you take, and those are, number 1, fish oil. So fish oil is a good supplement to take just because a lot of us don't eat too much fish. And even if you do eat fish on a consistent basis, you're not getting that much of the omega-3s that are in fish themselves. So it's good to supplement with it every single day and just take the suggested amount on the bottle and you'll be fine. Another good supplement is just a multivitamin. Again, we have diets that lack a lot of micronutrients and a lot of minerals. So if you can get a good multivitamin with like some good zinc, magnesium, vitamin D3, vitamin K, a lot of those good healthy supplements for our body, it'll help you, you'll feel a lot more healthy, you'll have better energy, and it'll just support you overall in your health, but will also help you with supplementation towards your muscle growth. Okay, the one I would definitely suggest that all of you guys take is creatine monohydrate, 5 grams a day. If you're 200 pounds or more, you can take upwards of 8 grams a day, but most of us will just take 5 grams a day and that will be more than enough. If you're under 120 pounds, you can take 3 grams a day, but most most of us, like I said, just take the recommended 5 grams a day. Take it in powder form or pill form. Do not get the gummies because they don't actually have any creatine in them. I found that out the hard way. So you can take it as a creatine mix. I would suggest you get the powders that are flavored because the unflavored stuff tastes like salt and it's disgusting. So get the creatine flavored powder or the capsules, whichever you prefer. But make sure you're drinking a gallon of water at least if you're gonna take your creatine, because it does require a lot of water. What creatine does is put water into your muscles and it'll fill your muscle bellies with water. So make sure you're drinking lots of water. Protein powder. Protein powder, you don't need it, but it does make hitting your daily protein target a lot more enjoyable and it makes it easier. So that way you can actually fill your calories up, hit your protein goals, and then you can enjoy some of the not so healthy foods that you want. But it's more and more difficult to do that if you don't have the supplementation of protein powder. I would suggest 100% grass-fed protein whey isolate. That's gonna be the best form of protein powder that you can get. It is more expensive, but it's way more natural and it's way better for you. An optional one is Sleep Aid. I personally take a off-brand version of the Unisum tablets. They work really well. I take that because it doesn't have any melatonin in it. I don't like taking sleep aids that have melatonin in it because it'll mess up with your natural melatonin release in your body, or your body just builds a tolerance to the melatonin. So it gets harder and harder for your body to fall asleep with it, and then it'll become dependent on those supplements and you'll feel groggy in the morning. So I wouldn't suggest getting a sleep aid with melatonin if you are going to get one. I would suggest getting magnesium glycinate powder form. You can get the NutriCross version and just mix it in a little bit of water before you go to sleep. Don't down it with a bunch of water, obviously, because you don't want to wake up in the middle of the night to use the restroom. So a magnesium glycinate is a good sleep aid. I would even combine that with a sleep aid supplement itself. But like I said, just make sure it doesn't have any melatonin in it. I would suggest getting the Unisum tablets, or even Gorilla Mind Sleep is a decent one. 2 more optional supplements are electrolytes. The only reason I would suggest you get electrolytes is if it's really hard for you to get your water intake daily. You want to ideally be drinking at least a gallon of water every single day. But if you're someone like me who doesn't really like water first thing in the morning, you can mix electrolytes in it and that will help you get it down because it'll add a little bit of flavor. I like the Propel packets myself. You can mix those in and it'll make the water super tasty. It makes it taste a lot better. So I would suggest drinking water first thing in the morning, especially if you're gonna work out in the morning. That'll give your body a lot of hydration. That way you can work out harder. Another optional supplement is just a pre-workout. This will obviously make you stronger in the gym. You'll have a better pump because of L-citrulline. A lot of supplements have beta-alanine, which will also help you lift harder and heavier, and the caffeine will just allow you to focus and get a pump. But that's optional. I didn't take pre-workout for my first 3 to 4 years of lifting, so it's not necessary, but it does make lifting fun. Some quick tips with this split. Now that we've got the supplements and you're in the gym, I would suggest you train the same time every single day. This is good because you'll develop the habit of consistency and you'll know whether or not you went to the gym. I would also suggest that you time block training in your Google Calendar and so that way it's always scheduled and you never have an excuse to miss the gym. Guys, going to the gym 6 times a week is not some ordinary task. Like, it does take a lot of time. You will be in the gym a lot, and 6 times a week is more consistent than most people are with most things. So you want to make sure that you're making time for that and scheduling it out so that you do not miss it, okay? Going at the same time will build that habit. It'll build neural pathways in your brain, and it'll actually be harder to not go than it will be to go. But you want to optimize your environment for going to the gym by putting your clothes in your gym bag the night before, getting your pre-workout ready the night before if you're going to take it, and just having your best headphones or your best earbuds in your bag ready for you to go with a plan of what lifts you're going to do for the day. Set timers for your rest periods. So before, I told you guys you need to rest 2.5 minutes to 5 minutes for your rest periods. Just time that with an Apple Watch or on your phone. That way you're making sure that you're actually resting for that time. Do compounds, then machines, and then cables. Basically put, you want to do your most taxing lift first. There's a lot of people who do like pre-exhaustion. I wouldn't personally suggest that. For example, if you're doing legs, I would suggest you start off with your hack squat, and then you can go into your leg extensions, your Bulgarian split squats, your lunges, your RDLs, that kind of stuff. Same thing with a push day. Start with a really heavy compound lift, like an incline bench machine or incline bench on Smith, stuff like that, and then you can go to your isolations after. It's just the best way to train. because then most of your energy will go towards your biggest lift, and that's what's gonna actually put on the majority of your muscle. Focus on consistency. You don't need to be perfect. Not every lift's gonna be fun, not every lift's gonna feel good. There will be days you don't wanna be there, but you go anyways. And those days matter more than the other days because you can only build your disciplined muscle when you don't feel like going, okay? So don't try to be perfect, just be consistent. For training intensity, you want all sets to be within 1 to 2 reps of failure. So gun to your head, you could not do more than 2 reps after your set. So if you're going for 6 to 8 reps, 8 reps you should not be able to get any more than 10. Train super hard in the gym. Super important that you're training close to failure. Quickly, I want to cover some of the movements that you can do for the days. On push, you want to do lifts like incline bench, overhead shoulder press, lateral raises, weighted dips, overhead tricep extensions for your triceps. For your pull days, you want to be doing things like T-bar rows, low angled machine rows. You want to do Smith machine shrugs, lat pull downs with a shoulder width grip, cable curls, and hammer curls. And then on legs, you can do things like hack squats, dumbbell RDLs, hip thrusts, Bulgarian split squats, lunges, leg extensions, hamstring curls, and seated and lying hamstring curls. And then of course you have calves. You can do those standing or on a leg machine. And that's everything for you guys. That's the split that you should do. Go in the gym, train super hard, get some of these supplements, and if you do everything that I told you to do in this video, you will get jacked. You will build a bunch of muscle way quicker than you can expect. And if you want my help with this process, I will hold you by the hand with the training, the nutrition, and the accountability. If you are interested in that, follow me at Skinny2Herculean and DM me the word jacked, and I'll see if you're a good fit for the program. Until then, subscribe and turn the notification bell on, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.